follow-up information we had earlier this month. We've released information that the Sheriff's Office Communications Center on January 6th received a 911 call from a male who told the 911 dispatcher, "Tell the Ocean Wave firefighters to be on standby. You never know when I'm going to strike out." That was in proximity to another case that we had where a firefighter was hit by what we believe to be a ricochet bullet. So that obviously brought concern to the Sheriff's Office to make sure that that case was followed up appropriately. We've now made an arrest in this case and learned that the case that involved the subject making the 911 call and the case involving the firefighter being shot at are in no way, shape, or form related. Our investigation started. We learned that call came in from a 904 area code phone number, and from December 20th to the current date, 61 calls to 911 were received. None of those calls that were received turned out to be emergency related. The caller during these calls made harassing statements, almost borderline threatening comments about the Sheriff's Office and firefighters. The integrity unit who investigated this also had another case from August of 2014 with similar type statements and similar type comments. And the voice on these 911 calls is very distinctive. You can tell these calls are related by listening to them. Did some investigation, talked to the subject's family member, and learned from the family member he also identified his son as the subject who made those calls. You know, these 61 911 calls, it makes me believe this man's to be ambidextrous, that he would use both hands to make the phone calls. 61 911 calls are tying up a lot of time that involve dispatchers, involve receiving officers, involve police officers to go and look at these. This takes time away from those who desperately need our help and call us when they do. This subject had an extensive misdemeanor criminal history, and as a matter of fact, is a sexual offender from a 2008 case that involved the exhibition of his genitals to a 7-year-old child. So we're pleased that he's off the streets. Hopefully he'll learn that 911 is for emergencies only and not for whatever reason he thinks it would be for. I can take a few questions if anyone has any.
Did he say wrong?
Honestly, no. He was a little remorseful when he was confronted about them. I'm not sure what his mental status is or isn't, but I wanted to make sure that the public is aware that we take these calls seriously. We take the misuse of the 911 system equally seriously, and we certainly take what could be threats to public safety employees equally seriously.
All the calls were related to that threats to the firefighters.
In one way, shape, or form. He didn't make that statement in every call that he made, but alluded to that type of behavior when he called, making these borderline threats, kind of veiled threats to the dispatchers, about the police officers and firefighters. So, yeah, they're all some shape or form related.
Did you wear a ricochet bullet?
No, we're still working that case. Again, I want to make sure that everybody's aware that those two cases are no way connected, except for the time period that they came out and caused us some alarm. Nice to know now that they're not related, but we still continue to work that case and work the ricochet bullet.
Is that why he made the calls?
What do you mean by that?
I can't be a whole lot more specific than that. It didn't rise to the actual level where we could charge him with making the threats, but these are kind of backwards threats that he's making to them. Like I said, you know, you never know when I'm going to strike out, watch out, that type of thing that I mentioned in that one. So you get that kind of verbiage, and that's enough to cause concern.
What was the time range of 61 calls?
61 calls were from December 20th, 2014 until yesterday.
And that happened after the shooting at the Ocean Wave. The call started coming in after the fact, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Did he say that's why?
The shooting was not at the Ocean Wave Fire Station. The threats that he made were to the firefighters at the Ocean Wave Station. That call came in some point in time after the ricochet bullet.
But his threats came after that December 23rd Southside Fire Station gun incident.
Yes.
He didn't see it on TV and decide that he was going to start threatening fire stations.
He didn't make any statements like that, Dan, so it's hard to know what may have been in his mind, but the sequence of events where the fire station on Southside Touchton was before the call was received January 16th.
And you said he was a sexual offender
Yeah, from
on
a
the registration?
2008 case, he was a sexual offender.
It's still on the list and did all that?
It's still on the list. And
It's in there.
What kind of charges will he face for this?
At this point in time, the public information officer released the arrest document on that. He's charged with unlawful use of the 911 system. Like I said, we weren't able to make the threats case on him quite yet. But again, these are real threats that we have. So.
What was it about the Ocean Way call that distinguished it from the other 60 or so to say this is something we need to, take extra caution?
Yeah, we weren't really sure why he centered the Ocean Way firefighters above somewhere else. Again, hard to know.
And was that call more threatening, I guess, so to speak, than the other ones that JSO took it to the level of we need to, go check that fire station out?
Well, that night that we received that call, we certainly put some measures in place to make sure that nothing occurred at that fire station. I guess maybe the proximity to the other case involving the ricochet bullet. We take these calls to 911 seriously and investigate them when they're, especially to this level of abuse and this level of threat. So it's hard to know what really precipitated his calls at serious level.
Were there any security measures taken once that direct threat was made to the Ocean Way station?
Yeah, that night that call was made to the Ocean Way fire station. The patrol officers from Zone 6 stepped up their patrols at that fire station and made sure that those firefighters and public safety officers there were safe.
Nothing ever happened at Ocean.
Nothing occurred at the Ocean Way fire station.
He was arrested today or yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Was he in court already? Or?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Do you know his most recent call that he made?
No, I don't. I can find that.
Anything else?